is Russell Wilson playing the quarterback position right now, and just the challenges that he poses you defending him this week?
I mean, he's playing at a great level. He's always been a dynamic player. I've had a chance to go up against Russell a bunch of times, and just have the utmost respect for him. And just as he jumped on the scene there, from my personal experience when he was at the University of Wisconsin, and everything he's achieved in Seattle. But this is the best that I've seen him play. Just the big plays that he's put on film the first 2 weeks of the season are exciting, and it's going to be a big challenge for us. But I think they're doing a great job on offense. Brian Schottenheimer's, he's been very aggressive the first 2 weeks. They're running the ball very well. They're well coached. They run it the right way. Do a really good job finishing plays. You can see that throughout the tape. So we're going to have to make sure that we really stay after. We got to win the second reaction. We got to win the play above 2.3, and that's a big emphasis for us. But this is a heck of a matchup for us.
In those matchups through the years, what was sort of line one for defending him?
I'm sorry, the why kind of went out there.
Matchups through the years. What was line one of defending?
Oh, line one.
The first thing that you sort of had to say, this is what we have to be concerned about the most.
Well, I mean, his ability to extend plays is, he generates so many plays above the the normal time clock of a just a basic drop back or an action pass. He can make all the throws. I mean, he can really spin it. I mean, his long ball accuracy has been off the charts the first 2 weeks. I mean, he's had a number of big time dime throws. I think the biggest thing is just try to keep the big plays to a minimum.
You mentioned 2.3. How do you come up with that, the seconds there? Is that something that you studied for years, that that's when stuff breaks down?
That's something I've always coached. I've always looked at the average normal time length of a basic play is 2.3 seconds. I mean, there's times in my career that we even had a big clock on the sidelines with a bunch of lights that would go off at 2.3, just so everybody would realize we're in the second phase of the play, the extended part of a play. Big plays are so important in this league. To score points on offense, you have to have them. To keep them out of the end zone. On defense, you have to stop them. So it's just the reality. Everybody has plays. Everybody wants to execute. In a clear time clock. Get the ball out of their hand on time and have the run crease it on time. But the reality of it is, the teams on offense, defense, and special teams that can win with the second effort, second reaction, great finish. Those are the teams that win in this league.
The other side of that, has Dak been pretty effective when he's reached that level, the 2.3 and beyond?
Definitely. I mean, we haven't had a lot of them so far this year, but I can tell you in our practice environment, I think he's exceptional. It's part of our training in quarterback school. It's part of our emphasis, and Seattle does a really good job of it. So it's definitely a focus of ours.
Do you expect DeMarcus or Tyron to practice today, and what's their injury status?
Tyron he'll be working with the rehab group today, so he will not get to the team drills, and D-Law is actually he's on a good personal matter that he's dealing with today, so he will not be at practice.
What about Chidobe Awuzie? Will he be able to do much today in practice?
No, Cheeto's his injury is a multiple week injury.
With that injury, will Brandon Carr be getting more work at corner? I know you were looking at him at safety, but what does that do with him going forward?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're looking to get Brandon involved. Obviously with his experience, he brings a vast skill set to us. So he'll be working at both positions. Yeah, but there'll definitely be some more focus on corner.
Jamal Adams is such a versatile defender. He's disruptive as a pass rusher on blitzes and in coverage. What challenges did he bring in Seattle's secondary?
Well, he's everywhere. I mean, he's their playmaker. Bobby Wagner has been such a staple there forever. As far as playing sideline to sideline, Jamal he's everywhere. His ability to chase the ball down from the backside. He's a tremendous pressure player. So plays with great tempo and finish.
What do you like about Worley and is Jordan Lewis a guy that you get some outside time to this week in practice?
Well, I mean, we're going to work all those combinations. I'm really not going to get into who's playing where. Obviously with the number of changes we've had week to week, we're going to work different combinations, and then when we get to the end here, we'll decide exactly how they're going to line up. But we have different personnel groups. Obviously, there's matchups that you're looking at, and to me, those are more schematic focused questions.
Whether you have found or not this week, are you still comfortable with your tackles going into this game, or do you think about switching guys around?
Well, I mean, I think it's natural and obvious, and you've been through this before. When you do have injuries across your line, you're always, we're not just going to work one combination. So, we have two plans, and the most important thing is to get everybody reps. So, that's our approach up front. I thought Brandon Knight did a good job, solid job, especially for the short amount of time that he had to practice and get ready for his role against the Falcons. So, that's something that we can build off of.
Mike, I think Brandon Knight and Terrence Steele both primarily played on the right side in college, I believe. Like when in a situation like that, how did you evaluate who's better suited for the left side?
Great question. That's frankly was part of our discussion. It was part of our discussion on Friday when we knew this was a good chance this was going to happen. As far as going into Atlanta, and you just you weigh those variables into that. So. But you also, we've had practice reps in training camp. There's a catalog of who's played where, and there's individual time that we're working both left side and right side. But it definitely goes into what decision you make. Because it's stating the obvious. If you haven't been in a left side stance in 3 years, it's not something you really want to do on a Friday. Make that change.
So how did you make the decision?
Well, I mean, the decision was made we were changing one position to keep the continuity of the 4 or the 5. So that's what the decision was made this past week.
Offensive execution is obviously important no matter where you're playing, but is it even more heightened on the road?
Yeah, absolutely. And and frankly, traditionally going into Seattle, there was always a tremendous noise factor. So, now with the current, current state of our game, that's something that we don't have to concern ourselves with. So, but, traveling is, still part of it. Going up there and playing in an unfamiliar, stadium and things like that. So, I mean, I think it's no different than, our first game. We obviously feel a lot more comfortable playing at home, and I'm sure Seattle has that. But it's important for us to go get that first road win, and that's really the message and the focus of our football team. And our biggest dose of energy and focus is really focus on the things we need to be better. We need to clean up a number of things. We were not sharp in our pre-snap discipline. This past week in Atlanta, so that's really what we're really focused on cleaning up as we're into the game plan for Seattle.
Mike, as you go about financial things, you mentioned that practice last week wasn't as sharp as you wanted it to be. What do you want to see at practice this week to reach your standard and make sure you're ready for the game?
Well, I mean, there's a number of things you're looking for at practice. I mean, you're obviously looking for tempo, you're looking for urgency, you're looking for command, by your communicators, your decision makers. It's all part of that flow and timing that I think every team's chasing early in the season. So I mean, we just weren't there last week yet, and I'm sure it probably some of that carried over to the game. I think it's reflected in we've had 2 games so far, and our starts have been not what they need to be. So we're playing a team that's 2-0. They've played some really good football. They have good tape. They're very efficient. It looks like their timing is. I mean, they're really revving. They're really revving on offense. Their defense is playing with a lot more. They've always played with a lot of juice, but there's more scheme there. There's more pressure. So they're coming at you differently. Their special teams has always been high energy and impact. That's going to be an excellent battle for us. So I mean that's really the focus, as far as how we feel about Seattle. But we need to start faster. We need to get into the game quicker, and it's more about being assignment clean and getting our timing and rhythm going.
Mike, what do you think of the coaches that have been fined $100,000 for not wearing masks?
What do I think about it? That's a lot. It's a lot of money. So that's. I will continue to wear my mask.
Has it hindered you at all? Are you still a little uncomfortable with it, or are you used to it by now? Or
Getting used to it. I found a mask that was a lot more comfortable in the second game. So I've been trying to wear it almost all the time here at work. So I think it's like anything. You just have to get used to it, and I get to take it off for this wonderful 30 minutes with the media. So I'm thankful for that. But I think it's like anything. You're doing it for the right reasons, and as far as what's out there. So but how it's being regulated, I really don't have a comment on that. I'm just trying to do the right thing.
So that's been the only time you've been thankful with the media, that you don't have to wear a mask?
No, you can't get me with trick questions today. I'm sharp. I've had a lot of coffee. So.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.